Hello and welcome back to my garage here in Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. I have a bunch of cars I want to get rid of before we get to work on our subject of the evening. And I have, I have two more actually I put in parking because I fixed up some more cars that I had in storage, but I wanted to show them all off before I sold them. So this one here is of course the Chrysler 300, which we worked through last time. And that over there is the Seo LX 550, which I finished since the last time you saw it. And I wanted to compare these cars side by side because this car is the vanilla analog to the 300. You can tell that they're clearly meant to be, close to the same car. This one, of course, has the supercharged V8 in it, and it is significantly more powerful than the stock 300. It is 1,476 horsepower. I think it was very close to 100% increase over the standard engine once built with performance parts. Whereas this one has 582. But anyway, I wanted to compare the two of them versus how much they cost. I think probably a better comparison would be the Seo 550 V8 without the supercharged the non-supercharged version. I think it's just the 550S, because SC of course is supercharged. But this car is $186,000. Yeah, this car is $186,000. Excuse me, I'm still a little phlegmy. This car is $168,000. So 186, 168. And I'm going to quickly pull out the other two cars that I had in storage already, if I can find where they went. There's one of them. And I think, there's the other one. And I want to get rid of all these cars that I've had, gumming up my storage for so long. This one here is this is a modded Porsche 992. Yeah. 911 Carrera S 992 Lit Edition. Of course, the lit mods are pretty good. This red is the factory color, so I didn't have to change it, since, as you know, I am more than willing to make everything red. But this is, it's perfectly fine. It's essentially a modded version of the 911 Carrera. Was it the 911 4S? The other one that we have that's from the DLC. I have one of them over here somewhere. This one, the 911 Turbo. No, that's not it. Where is it at? 911 RS, 911 Turbo. I know I have one that I saved. There. Porsche 911 Carrera 4S. That's the DLC car. But this one is, I think, 300 and something thousand? No, lie. So this is another 191,000. So we're all in the same ballpark on most of these cars. This is an RX-3, and I picked this one up in the Junkyard recently, and I wanted to look at it because they said in the last patch notes that they had updated the model or something to the RX-3, and I think it's like, it's been a little bit since I did one last, but I think these chrome trim bits are different. This chrome trim bit around the window I think is different, and this vent along the rear window I think those are a little bit different. Same thing with the badge on the badge on the trunk lid, and that's pretty much it. I still like the RX-3. I think it's a really neat little car. I enjoy working on them. Plus, you don't see very many cars in the game with rotary engines, and I like to work on them because they're really quick and easy to put together. This is the rotary. I think this is the Rot A. Yeah, because the Rot B is the turbo one that's in the RX-7. And this car is also the factory color on this. It's kind of a tomato red. I didn't have to change that either. I'm perfectly happy leaving it that way. And this one I think is no, it's not. It's gonna be close to 60 grand. Yeah, almost 60 grand for RX-3. That's probably excessive, even for a perfect condition RX-3. But then we have the two big boys over here. This is a 959. I found this in the junkyard recently while I was looking for that thing, and I can't pass up a 959 because I like them so much. The factory color on this car was black. I decided not to make it black. I went for this nice, I think this blue is really nice. I've been putting the mod comes with the 911 RS rims, which has the Porsche logo in black and white, or in black rather, and it doesn't have the studs around the edge. These rims are the ones from the 911 Turbo, and I think they look better on this car. I haven't experimented with other rims. Maybe I'll do that with the next time I find a 959. And this car is one of the ones that's a bit on the lower value end. It's about $900,000. Yeah, $901,000 for this car, because the mileage is high. If the mileage was low, it'd be up over $1 million. And then this is a Pagani Huayra, another word I'm not sure I can pronounce properly. Yeah, Huayra. I'm going to say Huayra, just because otherwise it sounds like I'm hacking up a hairball. The factory color on this car was black. I decided to leave it that way because I thought it looked sharp. I did chrome the rims because the other Pagani rims were yellow, but these ones were just bare metal, kind of a dull bare metal color, like anodized aluminum almost. So I went ahead and chromed them because I thought they would look good against the black. It has a twin turbo V12. It is crazy powerful, and it's worth a little bit less than the 959. $852,000 for this car. I'm not particularly fond of those, the Huayra. I like the Zonda a bit more, but I'm not a big fan of either of them really. So what we have here is the Chrysler Cordoba from 1975, and this is clearly a big old boat of a car. What they need to do is like mod in. So they need to add in like the Ford LTD and the the Buick, like the Lincoln Continental. Yeah, they need to add those things in so we could have a whole selection of the 70s, the big 70s luxury boat cars with the hood so big you could land fighters, you could land carrier-based aircraft on it. But I found this one in the junkyard after several trips, so we're going to go ahead and do this one up, see what it looks like. It's probably going to be big and beefy. I imagine it's going to end up being kind of like the Luxor Bowen, or what's the other big four-door that's kind of like a Cadillac, the Chapman. I think the Bolt Chapman. Doesn't have much in the way of body parts in it. So presumably there's going to be a set of Cordoba. There's going to be a Cordoba interior set, and there is. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. And that's all the body parts that we took off of it. I think I'm just going to flush these. I'll just buy new ones. Got to get my equipment moved over here. V8 1-carb OHVA. So it has a fuel filter and an ignition coil. I wonder if this engine is unique to this car. What does it have? Yeah, V8 1-carb OHVA. I think that's got to be the new engine for this car. And there's no swap options, unfortunately. I think the factory color is that sort of industrial, not industrial, institutional green. It's what we called puke green in the hospital. Okay, so rear muffler V8. Wow, there's not going to be a performance version of that, I'm sure. V8 1 carb OHVA. Yeah, nothing. So here's all this stuff. I wonder if this is going to end up being like when the Mercedes DLC came out, and a week or so after that, they put out a bunch of performance parts for the Mercedes cars, so that they, I wonder if they'll do something like that with this, because yeah, that's not a standard piece either. Front exhaust pipe A, that's right there. Oh, look at that. A and B. I noticed that, but I didn't. It didn't penetrate into my brain. Gearbox. I wonder. I'll bet they don't have a performance gearbox for this either. That's not the. That's. I want the other store. Yeah, no V8 1 carb. Yeah, I'll bet that at some point they're going to release, they're going to update the performance parts list for these Chrysler cars. I'll bet it takes 2 license plates, too. This is one of those cars that the passenger side doesn't rate a mirror. That should get us at 100%. Yeah. Okay, let's go and paint this thing. I think I'm gonna leave it that color. It's not as offensive as I thought it might be once the rust was clean. It's kind of a... It is still kind of institutional. Are there any liveries? Negative. What if I darken it up a bit? Now that's a green. Yeah, I think I can live with that. Make it 100, 150. Now that's some that's some lime green right there. It looks like the rim is going to be one of those ones that is a basic wheel rim with a hubcap, like the Bolt Cape rim. So I wonder what it's going to look like. I'm going to have to experiment with the rims to see if we can find a color that we like. Is there anything else on this engine? It looks like there isn't. Yep, it's a crankshaft and an engine block, and that's it. Okay, so we'll be building that one from scratch, pretty much. Ah! So this is going to be one that we're not going to be able to do full. We're going to have fewer performance parts than I like, because there just aren't any available for this car. Let's see here. I mean, we will get what performance parts we can. I mean, we'll get pistons and spark plugs and the clutch, and we'll see what kind of increase we get, but don't expect too much, I don't think. Oh, and I saw that it had ignition stuff, so we'll be able to do that, because there was a coil, so that means there's going to be a distributor and all that stuff. We'll need those things. Clips. I only bought one clip. Buy some of the stuff that we know we need for V8 engines. That's pretty easy to, since a lot of the stuff is common. Okay, what else do I need to get here? Rear shock absorber B, I'm going to need to replace those. I think I might just replace all the leaf spring parts. They're mostly red. Yeah, I'm just going to flush them all. Okay, so Yeah, I didn't think we would get very much. I mean, I saw a lot of red there. Let's see, we repaired the gearbox at least, since we don't have an option for a replacement. Let's look at these wheels. 12 and 19. 15% on that one. $26% on that one. We'll be able to repair at least one of these, I think. Yep, only one. Broke the other one. Cordoba 15. How big are these tires? 205, 70, 15. I was going to put sport tires on them, but I think I'll stick with the vintage wall. Yeah, I think that'll look all right. Okay, now let's go reassemble the back end. Although, it occurs to me that it would probably be good if I went and mounted and balanced those tires too, huh? Wouldn't it? I did this earlier when I was working on one of those other cars. I had painted the wheels and bought tires, and I was all set, assembled the part, went to install the wheel, and discovered, hey, I hadn't actually mounted the tires. How does that look? I did chrome the hubcap. I was kind of hoping the hubcap would stay a different color and just chrome the rim. Yeah, I was hoping that the hubcap would... It chromed the hubcap and the rim. I was hoping that the hubcap would stay the base color. Painting it something else would probably just paint the whole thing the same color too. Well, that's too bad. I was hoping it would look different. Maybe I'd try a different rim on it. The bolt cape rim, I bet, would look really good. Because I could paint the bolt cape rim the same color green, and the hubcap would stay chrome. On top of it, you'd see the green through the chrome. I think that would look sharp. Maybe I'll do that on another one. This one I'm going to stay stock on for the well. I'm going to stay stock except for wherever I can put a performance part in the engine. Well, look how much space there is between the radiator and the front of the engine. The fan assembly must stick way out. Okay, so we know we're going to need 12 bushings. And a set of front disc brakes. Need to get the tie rods and the sway bars and the steering rack. And those are all sway bar B. Let's go ahead and get the parts for the double Wishbone front shock absorber, because we can go ahead and get that going. Gonna need front wheel hubs, and just flush all this stuff. That other spring should be done. Yep. So we can get rid of these. Let's dismount these tires and see if these rims are any good. 18% on that one. What else do I have left here? Suspension arm, steering knuckle. 14% on that one. We'll make a stab at repairing this other stuff. We won't get it all. Might not even get most of it. I think we actually did get most of it. One rim, one steering knuckle. Not bad. I just bought the wrong size tire. Did you see that? Okay, so that can go and that can go. Yep, see, I bought 270. I bought 75 instead of 70. Okay, now that other one should be ready. Alright, just need to wait for that other tire to finish. We can get this, at least one side here, done, fully assembled before that other wheel finishes. Okay, look at that. Yep, it's a boat. I thought it like I thought. I kind of wish I had a Luxor Bowen laying around so that I could compare them. This thing is humongous. Now the reason I put that block on there like that was so that it would put the engine stand into the proper mode. So I don't have to look it up. I can just start throwing things in here now. Let's see, oil filter V8. You know, I'll bet when we get inside the car, I'll bet that it doesn't even have a clutch. I bet it has an automatic transmission. So I need, yeah. Oh, this is terrible. So we're going to be using pretty much straight stock parts. I wonder if it has its own oil pan. Yep, it does. And what about the carburetor? I mean, it says one carb, so it has a carburetor, right? Are we going to have to... I wonder which carburetor it uses. OHV, that means it's going to have push rods. Let's see, so there's the ignition. Where are the spark plugs? They're on the side here, or are they on top? I can't tell. I think they're probably on the side. Of course, the distributor's back here, so the wires would probably come around this way. Oh, V8 one carb. So it's going to be these heads. Ah, see, there's the spark plugs. And we'll need the manifold. And the ignition, there's the ignition wires. I knew it was going to be an odd configuration. So we're going to need these wires, I assume. 2 of these and 1 of those. Water pump pulley. Arm. Base, air filter. We need all this stuff. Head covers. And what, let's see, cam gear. The cam gear and timing chain are going to be standard. I wonder if it's just going to be the V8 OHV timing chain. I bet it is. No, it's not. Good thing I didn't just buy it. And what about the alternator and stuff? I assume it's going to have an alternator somewhere. Let's see, roller B, pulley. There was something else down there. Pump V8F. I wonder if, yeah, I was going to say the alternator is going to be the i6B alternator with it, since it has the arm. Radiator fan B. I should have looked to see what carb that was. And what are you? Carburetor B V8H. What push rods are these? Push rod F. So I need to buy those. That's a big old chunky exhaust manifold there. I am so happy this is a rocker arm assembly and not 8 individual rocker arms, or 16 really. Okay, I think that's it. I'm going to do a quick once around here and make sure there's nothing looking like it needs to be installed. I think we're good to go. I need a starter. I know I don't have a starter. I might have a regular starter for a different car, but I don't have a starter V8. Let's install this thing. There's still a lot of space in there. I wonder if there's a fan shroud or something that goes in there. And with this part, that should be done. Let's see if we're 100% now. Yep, 100% across the board. I wonder, I really should read up on this model. I guess this is like I bet this is like the city coat of arms or something. Cordoba, Spain, presumably. I bet that's what that's going for. Is it the same thing on the hood ornament? I think it is. Okay, so we'll see what kind of horsepower we have. It's not going to be impressive because we weren't able to really load it down with performance parts. 193, 250 maybe. 368. Yeah, I was in the ballpark. The power comes on sharply and then drops off. I bet it has plenty of get up and go though. I mean, this would be a very nice, comfortable car to drive, especially for long distances in. It's just such a big old boat of a car, man. This is the kind of stuff I grew up with in the 70s. Just enormous. It looks like, I think it's supposed to be, I think it's all leather trimmed, leather and wood interior. Oh, it has a column shifter. You see it there? But it's automatic. I see here, and it's in drive too. It's sitting here with the gear shift in drive. Start the engine and watch it go shooting through the wall. Okay, cool. Let's take this thing out and drive it. Okay, here we are at the track. Let's take a look at this car. I think this green might be a bit too much. It's almost like especially with the chromed out rims and hubcaps, it looks kind of like we've made a pimpmobile here. Especially with a white leather interior. I bet the car would look better if it was white, maybe an off-white, like an eggshell white, with that sort of cream-colored interior. And you can't change the color of the vinyl top either. It seems that's too bad. If you could change the color of the vinyl top, you could have some interesting color combinations. Let's see what it drives like. I bet it's going to be stately. If we get over 120, I think we're drifting to the right. Yep. 110, I think we'll get 120. Will we get 120? Maybe? Yes. And we're drifting off to the right again. So 122. Stepped on the brake there. So 122 seems like a reasonable kind of speed for a car like this. If they do release more performance parts for these Chrysler cars like they did for the Mercedes cars, we'll probably get a bit more out of them, but not a whole lot, I imagine. Alright, let's go ahead and go back. And here we are back in the garage. We have completely rebuilt this Chrysler Cordoba. We've sat in it, we've driven it. See how much it's worth. And it's not worth a whole hell of a lot. $90,000. And that seems excessive. Kind of like that RX-3. I think that RX-3 sold for about this same amount of money. And I think that's probably pretty optimistic. I don't know anybody who really wants one of these. I mean, I don't want it. So let's go ahead and sell it here. Alright, cool. That will wrap this one up, and that brings us to an end of the Chrysler DLC. They only gave us 2 cars in the Chrysler DLC. We got 4 in the Mercedes. Hopefully some modders will take advantage of this stuff and make some more other interesting Chryslers out of them. I do have some other cars lined up. I do have one car in particular lined up, and several others that I still need to work on. But we will get to those in due time. So, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you being here. It's really gratifying to me to know that people watch this stuff. So, I hope to see you again for our next Junkyard adventure. And on that note, bye for now.